Welcome everyone here to the SRF Weekend Warriors presented by 42 Stitches here on Apex Racing TV. I am Maver McDonald, joined alongside me is Dane Baird and Alex Simpson in the production booth. Dane, last week we saw 58 cars at the Summit Point Raceway, but tonight we go to a much more technical track at Mid-Ohio. How are you doing?
Yeah, Avery, thanks for having me. It's looking pretty good. We've got a 52 car grid here, so lost a couple of the drivers from last week. We don't have quite as big of a field, but I don't think that's going to impact the action at all. We've got a very tight and twisty Mid-Ohio sports car course, and we're using the chicane now, which is a bit of an odd one. It has a bit of an S bend just before the hairpin at turn, or would be turn 2. So it's going to be interesting, especially at the start of this race, to see how 52 cars get through that.
Yeah, 52 cars here, like you said, at Mid-Ohio. This is presented by 42 Stitches. For full service custom apparel decoration, check out 42 Stitches. They specialize in embroidery and heat transfer and can take your ideas from sketch to finished product. Everything from shirts to hats to masks to gaiters. Check them out at 42stitches.com and shoot them a project to get started. 42 Stitches has you covered. It's great to have them on board with this SRF Weekend Warriors. These drivers are just finishing up their qualifying session, Dane. One thing what I really like about the series is the 45% fuel limit, so they're going to have to pit one time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be a big part of the strategy for this 40-minute race that we're about to see. They're about to get onto the grid, and Ari, you're going to see the qualifying grid pop up on the screen any moment now. There it is, and why don't you run us through that?
You got Rodrigo Duran, fastest of the day, and one. You got David Gaspers. David Gaspers ran really strong last week, picking. And then we have Austin Winter, then Gorka, Schneider, Banks, Bertoni, Haycox, Elson, Weatherly, Felix Samos, and Kurt Nunez rounding out the top 12. 13th, we got Daniel Cedro, Forns, Bobby West, Jason Perry, Antonio Reyes, Ian Haycox, Greg Stefani, David Baum rounding out the 20. Then you got Maxime, longtime member Bob Kern, who's in the S2 class, as you can tell by drivers over 200. Then Chris Mercami, Samuel Dick, 24th. You got Dominic Barreau, Stephen Beardsley, Miro, Yerny Zorik, Simone Mayer, Peter Ruckers. So we got Jeff Fritcher, Kenneth Bately, Tom Gradwell, Ryan, and then Emil Orza and Ed Doherty. That's your 36. The rest of the drivers we'll see on your field as these cars are getting ready to start pacing with a short pace lap. That's, not all these drivers might be quite up the pacing speed when we get going here, Dane.
Absolutely. It's one of the more difficult pace laps that you can see, because this is really difficult. There's only 2 corners from to warm their tires up before the start, but we've got the championship standings up on the screen, Avery.
Yeah, the championship standings you saw, like I said earlier, is an S1 class. It's for drivers over 3,000 I rating, and then S2 is under 3,000. If you're under in the S2 class, you'll have a number above 200, and below 200 is your S1 class. The point standings goes as follow. In Spec 1, you have David Gaspers, who came in pit road late last week at Summit Point, took the win and from Austin Winter and Bertoni, Britcher, Raphael, Forns Arabian, Jim McGill, and the S2 class is Antonio Reyes, Bob Kern, Simone Mayer, and Paolo Bremi, and Jeff Jacobson. We're starting ready to go pacing here at Mid-Ohio. This is a very short pacing, start at turn 10. We got Rodrigo Duran and David Gaspers going to start P1 and 2. We got Volcano on the right. Green flag is out, and they're going green flag racing for week 2 here at the SRF Weekend Warrior Series. Rodrigo gets a good start, Winner, followed by Gaspers. Dane, this is your favorite part of the track, right?
Well, maybe not favorite, but definitely the most interesting part, especially at the start of this race. You got 4 wide further back down the pack. You can see there trying to file their way through this tricky bus stop sort of corner. Tricky right, left, right, straight into this hairpin, which makes it even more awkward. Very off camera as well. You don't want to get stuck too far on the outside line. It's a good start from the pole position, and Duran in first position, with Winner under a lot of pressure now from Gaspers just behind as they come in towards turn number 4.
Yeah, Winner trying to hold off Gaspers. Gaspers had such a strong run last week. Gaspers takes the overtake on the on the left side there. What a great move by him. Winner, he's got Allen right behind him, right on his tail. On board here with Alan Schneider. I love that. I love those mirrors.
Massive mirrors on these cars. And we can see this circuit very difficult, lots of blind crested corners. They all follow each other very closely in that middle sector. Very difficult section of the circuit. This is especially difficult here. Fast left-hander, don't get too wide though. You've got to get right on the brakes for this long double apex right-hander straight into the final corner. The corners come thick and fast here as we complete lap number 1 at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, the last section of this track is so vital. You need to get a good exit to get a great run onto this long straightaway. Duran is going to lead lap number 1, followed by Gaspers and Winner, the top 3. Your leader in the S2 class so far is, yep, it is Maxime, who's in 20th. He's leading that class, but right now it's Rodrigo Duran going to take the lead, or maintain the lead with that Volcano. Beautiful looking car.
Absolutely, but Gaspers has caught up. The gap isn't as large as it was the last time we came through this hairpin. And now as they come down the back straightaway, or sort of straightaway, there's a bit of a kink in it as you're going to see the drivers come past. That's caught me out way too many times. As they come back down to the turn, he doesn't know that they can have too many moves made. Everyone single file through the first 10 or so cars. But this is going to be what we see for most of the race, just waiting for the driver in front to make a mistake. It's not the easiest circuit to overtake at due to its tight and twisty nature. And with all the crests, the drivers are going to have to be on their A game for 40 minutes. As they come over the crest now, through the right-hander, double right-hander here, over yet another crest on exit, makes it very difficult to put the power down. And they're going to come around to start off the final section of corners. Duran still leading, but only by about a car length.
Yeah, it's very important with these long straightaways to be in the draft. We saw it last week at Summit Point that how important it is to be in the draft where you can make an overtake. So you want to be right there, you know, within reaching distance. As you see, that's what Gaspers is. It's a pretty good train all the way down to about 8th, which is Haycock's. Fastest lap so far, you see David Gaspers, then it just got beat by Banks. So these drivers are putting some really good times. The whole field is very close on times.
And I think an instant further back might have just happened. I saw a couple of drivers dropping down the field at around the 17th position mark. We've got a little bit of a scrap going on here. This is 13th place driver of Mitch Weatherly, and he is in that number 4 car, the gold and black one, just behind the Spider-Man looking livery of the 97 car of Perry, just ahead of him. But this little train of cars breaking away from the drivers behind, they're going to try and close up to who I believe is 10th place of Simoes, just up ahead of them. Bit of a move going on here. This is Bobby West up the inside of Nunez, and that is a move made before the corner. Great stuff.
Yeah, nice move by West, utilizing a great corner exit to start the pass early to make it so it wasn't an aggressive move. You take a look at Chris here from the Northwest Club, driver that 01, trying to chase down the 75 of Greg Stefani. Real good battle here. I mean, there's battles throughout the track. We're bringing you this obviously really good battle here. The cars are looking nice and mighty fine. That's one thing I really like about this Weekend Warrior Series. All the cars look sweet.
Side by side for the race lead as they come into the final section of corners. Gaspers on the outside. If he can hold on, no he can't, just has to slot in line. He would have had the inside line for this final corner, but this is the lead, very much under threat. He's in that draft range, bumper to bumper. He's going to go to the outside, the inside defended by the race leader. A little bit of door banging there. So we've got a car coming out of the pits. Hopefully they get out of the way and don't cause too much drama. It looks like they have done, but this battle for the lead, Duran just holding on.
Yeah, you know, great opportunity for Gaspers to try to make the overtake, but Duran defended it very well to maintain that lead. But the one thing, Dane, is we're only 5.5 minutes into a 40-minute race. This is showing what the action is going to be in the future. It's just going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. If we've got 40 minutes of this, I cannot wait. As we've got Winner just catching up a little bit. They've built up the tiniest of gaps to Schneider just behind them. There he is, Alan Schneider in the 21 car. 3 Volcano teammates. They're just gonna try and get in each other's draft and push each other along, try and catch back up. They've done a good job actually. That gap is not as large as it was just a few moments ago. But it's great to see these drivers all following each other closely. It's one of the few cars that can actually follow quite closely together while still having a fair amount of cornering speed. Very fun cars to drive, and it looks like we've got an incident. Someone's gone off the circuit. It looks like Bertoni in the 45 car. He's dropping right down the order.
Yeah, Bertoni had a really good run last week. Unfortunately, here's a replay of what happened. Got a little sideways into the corner, and you got to be very careful with these cars.
Oh no! Oh, and over the crest. That is not what he wanted. Everyone seems to have avoided him. I've seen some real world crashes go very badly wrong at that exact corner before, and that was a pretty big hit.
Yeah, that was number 3 of Glenn Hoffman, kind of getting into him there. Glenn was actually was the driver coming out of pit road, but yes, you know, a very clean start we've seen. Which, wow, look at this battle for the top 4. We have Alan Schneider right there on board with Winner on the right and Gaspers on the left. Winner might try to make a nice strong overtake here, maybe get a little push from Alan.
Absolutely, Alan sees an opportunity to get himself up into 3rd here as well. He's just gonna drop back, let those two go side by side through the corner and try and get a good exit. A little bit loose under braking though. He's had to catch the car and slow down a little bit, losing his advantage. But this train now is 6 cars for the top 6 positions, and this battle's not going anywhere. But Winner up in 2nd.
Yeah, great battle for the lead. It's a big train. It's led by Rodrigo Duran, the Volcano car. That number 10 is just putting on a really good pace, showing the way. But, you you take a look at Schneider, they're just kind of sitting there waiting for an opportunity to get around Gaspers. But yeah, if you're in this top 6 right now, you got a good train. You're starting to break away a little bit from 7th, which is Felix. So you want to, make a good gap. You don't want to be too aggressive because then that field is going to get even more bunched up.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to lose as little time as possible with your moves here, especially when you're in such a big train like this. You can easily lose time to the cars ahead of you if you try and make a pass too eagerly to come through into the chicane section. This would probably be one of the best overtaking zones on the circuit into the hairpin if it wasn't for the chicane. But it looks like Gaspers doesn't mind too much. Very racy looking as he goes through the chicane, all over the back of Gaspers. And it looks like that is Mitch Weatherly who's lost a position. And this is Stephen Beardsley in the number 009 car. Currently sitting in 22nd position, side by side into the chicane for some drivers further back.
Yeah, Bertoni had that contact earlier. He's going to try to make a charge to the field. The one thing is you do have one quick repair in this series, so if you get too junked, you can go in and get pit road and get a fresh car. So he stayed out though. He hasn't gone down pit road yet.
Oh, side by side here. This is the battle for, I believe, 10th. Yes, it is. As that looks like Perry has just got ahead. They were side by side through there. Definitely not one of the places I would ever go side by side through, but some beautiful looking liveries in these cars as well.
Yeah, the cars look just fantastic. You take a look at, that battle for Perry, and then Steven Ellison, who had a good run last week. A nice train here from 10th all the way to Daniel Sadro in 13th. That's what I love about this series. Last week the racing was awesome throughout the field, and this week does not disappoint here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course.
Absolutely not. These drivers getting very, very anxious at the front. 10 minutes into a 40-minute race, they're already wanting to get up as far through the field as possible. There's 3 Volcano drivers in the rear in 4th, 5th, and 6th, looking like they don't really want to make too many aggressive moves, but it looks like Samoa's in 7th is starting to catch up just a little bit.
Yeah, they're starting to, catch up, but just a little bit. But we take a look at Gaspers. They're in that 3-way train.
Oh, dear.
Oh wow, Alan Schneider pulled a little fakie, seeing if he was gonna get Gaspers to flinch, but Gaspers waved the finger and said, no, not this time.
I think he actually got a little bit on the grass there, Schneider, just under braking, and he completely lost the rear end. So that was actually fantastic car control from the number 21 driver. And looks like we've got a couple of connection issues for driver in 8th place. Oh, again on the grass for Schneider, and that's going to be his teammate passed. Both of his teammates passed. He's going to drop back down into 6th.
Yeah, we saw it last week at Summit Point that getting on the curbs, too much on the curbs, and then getting into the grass was just a huge, huge chance for you to cause a big crash. So, got to be very careful. We saw Alan lose a couple positions because of that, and that puts Felix right in striking distance to get back up into the pack. But right now it's Duran, Winter, and Gaspers, your top 3, with a small little gap between 3rd and 4th. They're going to try to pull away from 4th.
Yeah, that's exactly what that mistake from Schneider's done. Slowed up the driver who was in 5th position. And yeah, oh, he's actually gone a little bit deep into the hairpin, and he's going to go side by side now. The battle for 4th position heating up just a little bit, still side by side. And Itaret has just about held on there in 4th position.
Yeah, really, these Volcano cars are 4th, 5th, and 6th here. Going to try to run them down. But super impressive run, though, for Austin Winter to maintain this lead. As you see on this, saw last week and you saw this week, so many talented drivers. There's Austin right there, and Duran, and Gaspers. I mean, if you want to be the best at Spec Racer Ford, you got to come in. You need to race with these drivers, and you need to beat them, because these are some of the best you're gonna ever see.
They are pretty good. I don't remember seeing Winner make the move for the lead of this race. So I wonder if we might be able to get a replay of that, because I don't think we actually saw that happen. I think it was probably in all of the chaos that we were seeing behind that Winner managed to just sneak past Duran, who was holding a pretty respectable 1st position, and now he's got Gaspers all over the back of him, as it looks like a couple of drivers heading into the pit lane.
A couple drivers are going to try to do a early pit strategy. It looks like that didn't quite work out last week. I believe it was, I'm not 100% sure. I believe it might have been Gaspers who pitted early, but you never know how this works. You have 45% fuel, and they're not taking tires here, Dane. They're just taking fuel only. Take a look at a replay here with the battle for the lead. Oh. Yeah, Winter just makes a
Well, here it is then. It looks like the overtake for the lead. Down into turn number 4, up the inside goes Winner. And true to his name, he takes the lead of the race. Ooh, Gasper's had a little bit of a look down the inside as well. And he just doesn't make it work.
A great move by Winter to take over the race lead. He is a very talented driver, like these all are, but he had an opportunity and you got to take it. When you're racing with this high caliber of drivers in any series, when you have that opportunity to make the pass for the lead, and they made a great chance. Take a look at the battle for 5th right there. Schneider right behind Gorka.
I think that's actually Gorka just behind.
Oh yeah,
Felix. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, apologize, Felix.
He's all up on the grass.
Wow, just right there on that tailpipe is Gorka, just putting on a whale of a ride right there on his bumper.
I think he is. I think he's bump drafting there, trying to push up towards the leading pack, as it looks like we've got a move for 2nd position just ahead. Gaspers has gone all the way around the outside, which has become the inside for this next corner, and he's done it. He's got up into second position now.
Yeah, great move by Gaspers. Like, once again, that's a great opportunity to pass. There's Yerny Zork. Is there going to be contact between?
3 wide.
Woo! That's what I like to see. It backed out of the corner. There was, I believe that was, that's the one bad thing about these cars and my bad eyes. I can't see. But Yerny Zork, power move to get up to 17th place.
Absolutely. 3 wide through that corner. One of the scariest things I can imagine at this place. Going 3 wide around turn number 5.
One thing about this race course is it's very tight, it's very technical, and there's a lot blind turns, so you never know what's in front of you. So you just gotta keep your eyes forward. You know, if there's something in front of you, you just gotta be careful. But yeah, I really love this track. I'm really slow at this track, but it's a fun track to drive.
Definitely, as we got a little bit of a gap being made in that number 82 machine for Yerny Zork. And we've got Carlton Banks in the number 23 car making a move. That's a great move up into the chicane there, but great name as well, up into 20th position.
Yeah, Carlton Banks, you know, moving up into that 20th position from Fresh Prince of Volcano. Gonna try to run down Samuel Dick in the 119. Samuel is up 32 positions from his grid. But yeah, there's Carlton Banks just putting on a whale of an effort.
Oh, they're not. I thought they were going to go 3 wide again around turn 5. Oh, very loose. And that was Samuel just behind, and he's loose again. He's almost spun it completely around. There he goes. He was just turned around. He got very loose, and Miro turned him around in the 119 car. And he's going to lose a heap of positions. Let's look at the back of this car. Oh, it's absolutely ruined.
Yeah, you hate to see it, but they do have the one quick repair. Fastest lap of the day, David Gaspers, your leader, put in that 138.1. What a blistering lap time that is. But wow, just Gaspers out in front, followed by Winter and Duran. This top 3 has been swapping the lead the last couple laps, and it's Gaspers out front. Take a look from the backside of him at Austin Winter. He wants to be the winner today. Ooh, outside, going around the outside. We'll see if he's gonna stick. Strong entrance in by Gaspers, but Winter's gonna have no, Gaspers able to clear him. Big move by Gaspers, otherwise Winter would have had the preferred line going into that turn. We'll take a look at Bobby West. We got Bobby West, that number 89 card, running a super strong race, a big power move on had to make a nice overtake on Stefani. Now it's gonna go West, Stefani, Chris, and then Kurt Nunez from 12th to 15th. Bobby West put on a really nice run. We'll see if he's gonna be able to break away, but good chance they won't be able to because how strong the draft is with these cars.
Yeah, definitely. These cars are pretty easy to follow each other through the corners, and they also give you a nice little tow down the straights. So it's pretty easy to keep with the drivers ahead, as these top 3 drivers have got quite a substantial lead now. Around about 4 seconds as we've got another pit stop here for the man in 6th position. That is Felix Samoas in the 31 car. I believe I just saw him take tires. But he's going to definitely fuel up that car, and it's interesting to see who has taken the pit counter. Looking at my SDK live timing thing, a lot of the drivers near the rear of the field, of course. So around about, I want to say, a third of the drivers have taken their pit stop. Mandatory pit stop, obviously, with the fuel restriction. There's another one, the 299 car of Gradwell into the pit lane.
Yeah, a couple drivers are making their way down a pit lane. With that 45% fuel, you're able to not all have the pit at the same time. That it splits it up very nicely. You could go a little earlier or, run all the way fuel out, but you're just taking fuel here. We'll take a look at Ryan here having a real strong run up in 27th. That's in the S2 category. The S2 category is for drivers under 3,000 I rating, and their numbers are signified by being over 200, running a super strong race for Ryan.
Absolutely. Stefani with a tiny bit of a gap ahead of Chris Murakami in the number 01 car. Currently running very nicely in 12th position, but he does have a little bit of company with Bobby West just behind him. He's managed to catch up, and he is going to definitely be right on the tail as they come through the final section of corners now, through the double right-hander and into the flat out left, back onto the main straight to start lap number 14 for these guys.
Yeah,
and we are already over halfway through the race, Dave.
Yeah, 14 laps down, over halfway through the race, and it's been such a great battle. Everybody is just, racing super clean, but trying to make moves at the same time. We're going back to the battle for the lead. Excuse me. Got Winner and Winner's going to make a hard move on Gaspers. This is the best chance to make the pass. We'll see if Winner's going to be able to clear Gaspers. Not quite. We'll see how through the corner is. Gaspers is in the perfect spot here in the preferred line. Gaspers is able to clear. Yeah, what a great move by Gaspers to clear Winner, and Duran is right there up on Winner.
Absolutely, with the top two drivers fighting, you can see the number of pit stops everyone's made on the timing tower at the moment. And currently the highest placed driver is that man right there, Carlton Banks. In the number 23 car, running in 15th position. His gap to the leaders is around about 22 seconds. I'm not sure how long a pit stop is here, but he might end up quite close to the front running guys at this point.
Yeah, about 30 seconds or so is about your pit your pit time. I went out and tested this car earlier today just to kind of get a feel for the car. About 30 seconds. And one thing that we brought this up last week, these cars do not have a pit road speed limiter, so you have to be very cautious that you don't speed. But yeah, Carlton Banks is oh dear, that's the 009 of Beardsley that goes around. Beardsley was in, I believe, 18th at the time. We'll take a look at the replay here. Just kind of, just under braking. Unfortunate for Beardsley, but great job getting out of the way of the oncoming cars. I love that 43 of Jeff Fritcher with the old Petty blue and the nice red, the kind of Richard Petty-like cars. I'm a huge fan, personal reasons, but yeah, great job by Beardsley kind of getting out of the way. And there's Felix Samos running real strong and trying to pull a gap from Jeff behind him.
Yeah, the field's starting to spread out now as everyone decides on their pit strategy, but these three at the top are closer than ever. David Gaspers currently leading the race with about a 2-car length lead onto the grass. There's a lap driver on the outside, going to get well out of the way in the number 76. And the top three make it through nice and clean. But it has allowed David Gaspers to gain a little bit of time over Austin Renner. And Duran now right on the back of the driver in the number 33 car as they come around to start lap number 16 as we pass the 25-minute mark. It's going to be interesting to see when do these drivers decide to take their pit stops. Are they going to follow Gaspers into the pit lane, or are they going to try and use the clear air that they'll get by pitting early to try and maybe close the gap just a little bit more?
Yeah, the one thing is this three-way strain is definitely pulled away from Ford. So you never know. Sometimes it's really good to be in traffic, but sometimes you really want that clean air. It just kind of depends on what your driver preference is. But man, Winner is just right there on Gaspers. But don't count any of these three drivers out. Anybody can make a move at any given time. So they're just really kind of buying the time. About 14 minutes to go. just a little over 14 minutes ago in this race. These drivers still need to make a pit road, make it down pit road. So we'll see when that's going to happen.
Absolutely. We'll wait and see what the delta's going to be. Gasper's still winning, so we've had a retirement from the race. The 664 driver of Botenga has retired from the race. That's why he's currently sitting at the top of our timing tower. It's just a bit of an issue that iRacing has. If someone resets or takes the tow back to the pit lane, they come out in front. And there he goes. Back to the bottom of the standings as they cross the finish line to start lap number 17. But these two drivers still following each other very closely. Gasper's with a little bit of a gap to Winner just behind. But it's not enough that he can rest in his laurels as Greg Stefani into the pit lane. This is a much closer battle here. This is Bobby West around the outside of Carlton Banks. Banks up the inside. And has he made it clear? Yes, he has. He's going to swipe across the nose of Bobby West into the chicane, and that is him up into 11th.
Yeah, what a Austin Winter trying to make the overtake here.
Oh. Almost contact, but he has taken the lead there. Once again into turn 4, so definitely the best overtaking opportunity as they do make some contact. You can see the back of his car is now damaged for Austin Winner. We'll have to wait and see how that affects him. He might want to go and take his pit stop now to use that fast repair, as you said, Avery. But Duran might want to try and capitalize, but it doesn't look like he's been able to.
Yeah, well, a lot of drivers are making their way down pit road at the moment. So we'll see when Winner, Gaspers, and Duran are going to make their way down pit road. But this three-way battle for the lead has just been going on since the green flag, which you're going to see that every week. If you like what you see, come back next week, same time here on Apex Racing TV for the Spec Racer Weekend Warriors Series, brought to you by... Wow, I'm terrible. Excuse me, brought to you by 42 Stitches. I didn't have the right info sheet up, but yeah, big shout out to 42 Stitches for coming on board, sponsoring this series. It's such a great series. I think Lee even said it last week that I think this is going to be one of the channel's fan favorite for a lot of people that tune in here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you whenever see we're live. But yeah, this series is so great, Dane.
Absolutely. Next week, as you said, same time, we are going to be at Imola, which is going to be awesome to see. I won't be there for that. Lee is going to be joining you, Avery, in the booth for that one, but it's going to be good. I'm definitely going to have to watch it back. But we've still got this battle for the lead. Gaspers did get ahead of Winner just now. And Duran still sitting patiently in third position. But those top two drivers just swapping positions every other lap, it seems. And with only 10 minutes left of the race, they're going to have to make their pit stop pretty soon.
Yeah, Duran just kind of just sitting there, maybe waiting for a mistake between Winner and Gaspers. Maybe he's hoping to make a little bit of contact. Unfortunately for us, or excuse me, fortunately, he's just right there. We'll see if they're going to make a way down pit road this time by. Nope, not quite. We're going to go another lap. We're going to be completing lap number 18, and just a touch over, excuse me, 10 minutes to go. Gasper is going to lead Winner at the line. That's your leader of the S1 class. Your leader of the S2 class is Antonio Reyes. And Antonio, super strong run last week where, won the Spec 2 standings. So he's right now in the position. Oh, now we have an overtake with, I believe that is, we'll let the timing and scoring kind of work its way out. Might be Andelo that made, yeah, Flavio Andelo made the pass.
Oh, and there goes Winner to the inside, going down the back straight. He's got ahead and looks like he's going to have that move done by the time they get into the corner. He's just about ahead. He's going to pull across Gaspers into the braking zone. Up into the lead goes Winner. Oh, and straight off into the grass. Is he going to come out in front? Just about contact. Winner gets turned around. Gaspers back down to second. Duran Big winner from that, up into first.
Well, yeah, just a mishap, and there's nothing Winter could have done going through the grass right there. Once you start sliding, you can hold the brake all you want, but you're going to keep sliding until the car just comes to a complete stop. And he was up in the top 3. Ooh, and around
Oh,
goes
a
the
bit of a spin
664.
there.
Does a lap down driver. Austin Winter's probably going to make his way down pit road here, I'm thinking. We'll see if Gaspers comes. Yep, we got Gaspers, and we have Duran and pit road. And I did say at the lap before, Duran was waiting for an opportunity to make the pass, and there was his chance.
And
Winter
there
going to make
goes
his way
winner
down
as
pit road.
well. Absolutely. I think it was just waiting for an opportunity. Duran is Iterate into the provisional lead of the race, but he hasn't made a stop yet. So he is definitely going to be falling back down the order. Interesting to see what it's going to look like with Carlton Banks. And he is going to come out in 5th ahead of both Gaspers and Duran. Gaspers ahead of Duran in the pit lane right now, as they've come out of the pit lane actually, and Gaspers is overtaking Duran in the pit stops.
Yeah, it's very important to get a good entrance into the corner. Into pit road. Obviously, want to get a good entrance in the corner. But yeah, great job by Gaspers. Gaspers going to try to run down Carlton Banks. Right. That's not Carlton in front of him, but he's going to still try to run him down.
There he is up in the distance there.
Yeah.
Here in the front foreground of the screen, there he is. And no one else ahead of him is pitted, so he is the provisional leader of the race.
Yeah, Carlton Banks, the first driver who has first driver that has taken a pit stop in the timing tower. You'd see Banks at top 4 do need to go down pit road, but yeah, that was a great strategy by Carlton Banks right there. But he's got a heavy hitter with David Gaspers who's going to try to run him down. After we'll let you all know how the lap times kind of show up, because obviously Gaspers' lap time was slower because come down pit road. But yeah, good job by Carlton Banks for the Fresh Prince of Volcano.
Exactly. Currently, and we've got everyone in front of him into the pit, so we're going to see now. He's almost guaranteed to take the lead. There he goes up into 3rd, passes Schneider, and there he goes into the lead of the race. He's going to come out just ahead. So what's happened to Gaspers and Duran in the pit stops? They've lost out 2 positions here between the 2 of them.
Yeah, it looks like the average time was 30 seconds. Carlton Banks put about a 30-second pit time, just under 30. But Gaspers, pit lane times on when they came down pit road, about a 5 seconds difference between Duran and Carlton Banks, and then about 3 seconds between Gaspers and Carlton. But so, pit lane is so important. We saw it last week, and we're going to see it. We saw it this week. Yeah, there's your time.
Second, round the outside. Oh, who's that off from the grass? That's a lap driver. Great move from Gaspers up into second there.
Yeah, Gaspers and Gorka are going to try to run down that 3-second gap between Banks and Gaspers. With just over 5 minutes to go, if you got to go now if you even want to have a chance at passing Carlton.
Massive slide from Gaspers. That's going to allow Gorka up the inside, which becomes the outside, but he's already ahead. Big slide from Gorka. That's going to allow Gaspers back at him. All the way around the outside, he's going to go try and get a better exit as they come through towards the final corner. 5 minutes left of the race. But just interesting looking at the pit lane times for each of the drivers. Carlton Banks with a 30-second flat. Then Gorka with a 30.7. David Gaspers had a 32.3. And Duran with a terrible pit stop of 36 seconds. That's why he lost all. Big crash behind. And that's a great move from Gaspers up the inside of the chicane, but there was a huge crash just behind them heading into the chicane. I think it was 2 lap drivers, so I didn't see anyone falling down the timing tower, but 2 already beaten up cars getting into each other. But these two drivers now in the battle for second. Banks looks like he's got this win in the bag. 4 seconds, and that gap is only increasing. But Gaspers currently sitting in second with Gorka just behind. This battle for second is nowhere near over.
Take a look at Alan Schneider. Alan going to try to run down Dan Sadro, and really just a great effort by those drivers there. I mean, the whole field has done a fantastic job, but Alan, he's kind of been in the thick of it the whole time, just making some great opportunities for him just to keep running and to finish in the top 10 here is it's a very, very tough. I mean, I'd probably finish in 58th place if there's 58 cars here. So, but yeah, Alan putting on a great run. Yeah, they're not really in a opportunity to get up to Austin winner with just over 3 minutes to go left here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Course here with the 42 Stitches Weekend Warriors Series. Come again next week. Imola, another fun track.
You can see the track map on the right-hand side of the screen. You can see where all of the drivers are. That is based on their position. So you can see where your favorite driver is. Banks currently leading. The gap's still more or less 4 seconds. But Gorka, importantly, has dropped back from Gaspers and is now under immense pressure from Rodrigo Duran.
Yeah, the last lap times between pretty much the top 4 has been within 1/10 of a second. So not enough speed right now for Gaspers to get the Banks, but now he's got clear air and nobody on his tail. But yeah, Gorka, another strong run with Duran right on his tail. Duran started on the pole, down down a couple spots, but just a great run for all these drivers as we get to 2 minutes to go in this main event. What a battle we have here.
Definitely Duran right on the back, these two teammates. 2 minutes left to go. The lap time is more or less 1:38, and with Banks crossing the line, I don't know if this is going to be the white flag lap. It depends on how quickly he makes it around the circuit. There's going to be seconds in it. We haven't got the white flag on the timing tower, so I don't think it is. I think we're going to have an extra lap here, which is going to allow Duran, but keep an eye on that, because Carlton Banks might just drop back and take the win with a lap to spare. Duran right on the back of Gorka now as they come down the back straight. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make a move just yet. We'll have to wait and see. Round the kink, I don't think he's going to have it.
Yeah, the one thing we saw last week is we got an extra lap at some point, and a lot of drivers ran out of fuel. So we'll see if we get another lap, if any other drivers are going to be running out of fuel. So that is going to be very important if we get another lap after this. So take a look at the battle between Duran and back up the Fresh Prince of Volcano, Carlton Banks. Just had got clean air, had a great job on pit road. Gaspers in second, has built a 1 second gap over third and fourth. The last lap time he was 2/10 quicker than your leader Carlton Banks, and that number 23 Volcano Spec Racer Ford slow car might get in the way. Kind of held him up a little bit, but able to get going.
The checkered flag on the timing tower. This is the final corner. He's going to take the win.
Carlton Banks with the Fresh Prince of Volcano gonna take home the win here, week number 2 for the Spec Racer Weekend Warriors Series, followed by Gaspers, Gorka, Duran. Felix going to round out your top 5. Austin Winter's going to fall down to 6th, but after having that contact, 6th place is pretty good for him.
Absolutely. He was another one who had a very quick pit stop, which allowed him to keep those positions. Obviously with the fast repairs, so the damage didn't take any time off of him at all. But the rest of the drivers, as you can see, in very quick succession crossing the line to finish the race. It was almost a situation like the Porsche G-Sport Super Cup at Le Mans, the first edition of that, where all the drivers ran out of fuel, very similar to what happened last week. But we were seconds away from getting an extra lap at the end there, which could have allowed Duran to get past. So that's very unfortunate for Rodrigo. But he's going to take fourth position as just over half the field crosses the finish line. We've still got 20-odd drivers left to go.
Yeah, we have a huge field. I mean, this series is known for having the max field you could have at a particular racetrack, and wow, I've been so impressed with this series. And this is only our second week of covering them, and always have a great field, great drivers. Take a look at Emil there, good, finished in 40th, which is very respectful. But the winner of, Carlton takes home the win in the S1 class, and that S2 class was won by, let's see, Bob, yeah, Antonio Reyes takes home the win for the S2 classes. Those are your race results right up there on your screen. Remember, S1 drivers under 200. So Carlton Banks, David Gaspers, and Gorka round out the podium, and then Antonio Reyes goes back-to-back wins for the S2 class, followed by Bob Kern in second for that class, and then in third for that class was Maxime. And what a great race we have here. Remember, drivers, if you're watching this after, get the SDK app downloaded so you can update your information for what team you're on, and if you have a different name you go by, if you have like a 2 on the end of your name on iRacing, you can make it so it just says you without a 2. So make sure you check that out. But what a great race, Dane.
Yeah, it was definitely a very interesting race that came right to the end for the battle for third position, and a great racing throughout the field as well. Pretty clean stuff. We didn't see too many big incidents, as we have got a pile up and a half.
Oh yeah, this happens.
Wow. At the end of turn number 4, I'm not sure if the broadcaster's picking this up, but there's a good 10 drivers having a bit of fun in the gravel there, which is pretty awesome to see.
This happens every time after the race. It's the little demo derby. It's so much fun that they do this
everywhere.
Yeah, they do this every week. It's so cool to watch. Sometimes you get a little upset with somebody. This is your chance to take it out on them.
I would not like to do this with a direct drive wheel, that's for sure. Smoking cars all around, someone driving backwards. Oh, it's great to see.
Hey Dane, it looks like you're caught up with David.
Well, we've got David Gaspers in the commentary booth for an interview. Second place today, but it was a pretty intense battle between yourself, Rodrigo, and Austin at the top, but Carlton just snuck up on all of you.
Yeah, Raphael pitted a bit earlier than us, and yeah, I think if that spin of Austin didn't happen, I would have been just in front of him or just behind him, but yeah, after that there was that big gap.
Yeah, he snuck under the radar with an early pit stop. But talk us through your battle at the front of the field there. It went on the entire race, swapping positions between yourself, Rodrigo, and Austin. That must have been pretty intense stuff for 40 minutes.
Yeah, in the beginning, I think Austin and I were a bit held up by Rodrigo. He was a bit slower than us through the corners. My problem this week was that for some reason my clutch started acting up, so I have to be on the clutch longer to make sure the gear is in and lose time on the straights. That didn't help. And yeah, later on I tried to stay in front because I think I was with fastest one of us through the corner part. But yeah, as I said, I always had a bad exit out of a keel or at least low speed on the straight.
Sticky clutch pedal, obviously not the best of things, but second place here today. That's gonna get you a good chunk of points in for the championship. Obviously only round 2, but next week we head in the series to Imola. How do you find Imola?
I think it's a great track. It's a shame we haven't used it in so long.
Absolutely. Currently the championship leader with that result. think you might just stay there at the top of the standings. So not the worst result at all. Second place, great result from yourself. We're gonna let you go to get another driver in. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course, thank you for doing the broadcast, and also thank you to Jem McGill for sponsoring the broadcasts, and Steve and Steve for setting up the league.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, David, in the commentary box. Congratulations on the second place.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Great to hear from him.
yeah, great to hear from that driver. Just keep in mind, if you driver coming in, watching this later, if you want to get into an interview, join into the Discord and go into the waiting area for preferably top 3. But man, Dane, any last words for this 42 Stitches Weekend Warrior Series?
Oh, it was absolutely great. My first time on the series, and I'm looking forward to being back every other round, alternating with the one and only Lee Thompson. But it's going to be a very interesting season. Massive grids on this series, which always makes it entertaining, and I'm really looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, such a great round here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course for week 2 of the SRF Weekend Warriors presented by 42 Stitches. Alongside me was Dane Baird and Alex Simpson in the production booth. I am Avery McDonald, and we'll see you next time here on Apex Racing TV. Night, night.